I think that's it. He's just packing one Aetherling. So
yeah, he's got one throughout his 75.
if that Aetherling gets Thought Seized,
it's going to be hard to win.
Yeah, very, very, very hard to win.
Now, the other cards in Elsik sideboard here, he's got 3 copies of Last Breath, a Glare of Heresy, 2 Pithing Needle, 2 Jace Memory Adept, will actually give an alternate way to win, 3 Gainsays, 2 Fiendslayer Paladins, and 2 copies of Dispel. So he's got plenty of cards to bring in. Looks like we see 3 Gainsays, 2 Dispels, 2 Jaces. That's 7. 1 Glare of Heresy, you could argue, makes it 8, and 2 copies of Pithing Needle could be 9 and 10 cards to bring in. Of course, Supreme Verdict, an easy one to cut. Celestial Flares in the main deck, those are pretty easy to slice and dice as well. And then 2 copies of Ratchet Bomb, I could see Elsik sideboarding out against Tran and his Esper deck, and you've got his sideboard in front of you.
Yeah, Sync Collector, we got 3 of those. All of those obviously come in very good against the Control Mirror. Gainsay, 3 of them, 2 Negate, 2 Thought Seize, and a Blood Baron, and then a Pithing Needle. Looks like Minh is boarding in 12 cards in this matchup. 12 cards, yep, and he's got the easy ones to board out. 4 Supreme Verdict, no fear of Blood Baron there. 2 Doomblade, easy board out. Devour Flesh, so that's 7. And then you can shave off like a Detention Sphere or 2. You can shave off maybe an Azorius Charm, and you can fit all these cards in. Looking at the deck list over here, when you're looking at the blue-white control player, it's really tough to get a game plan going. You have to bring in your Pithing Needles, and you have to hope that you can really just needle the things that you can't handle. And, you know, if you get your 8th Thought Seize, I guess you have an easy needle target where you just name their 8th and be able to deal with it.
Sure.
But I really don't like Blue-White's chances in this. But then again, he's doing well. Zach's doing well. Another Blue-White player came up and spoke to me a second ago. He was also X-1. He said he was probably not able to draw. So he's battling probably one of the other feature tables. And he said the same thing. He's like, well, my deck's consistent, but I just want to dodge Esper all day because let's not kid ourselves here. When you're not packing Thought Seize, I'm not saying Blue White Red can beat Esper any day of the week. I know it's a slight dog.
Yeah.
Because this Thought Seize is just that good. And we saw a couple Quicken Thought Seize earlier on camera. It's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, we saw that from Dave Thomas a little bit earlier. You see both players finishing up here with their sideboarding and mulligan and all that jazz. And I'm kind of with you, you know. I like, again, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, where, you know, the people who believe in blue-white, they are strong believers.
Yeah.
They do not, they know that they can play Esper. It's not like this is a secret of some sort. They know they have the option. They said, no, no, no. I like blue-white. I think it gives me good matchups across the board. I have a better chance against aggro decks, which are popular nowadays, where Esper really folds to those aggressive strategies that people are playing.
Yeah, yeah. And they're following the Max Teats School of Magic here, who was battling to some success last invitational there.
So Tran's going to play a Temple of Silence. He's going to scry. You see Elsik's going to be on the play this game. So there's a Hallowed Fountain, and here comes a second Hallowed Fountain. Pass the turn back. And as you guys probably know at home, we're going to see a lot of draw-go action here. Someone will probably break the silence with a Jace, but do remember that the sideboarded games, more things do happen instead of all the draw-going and setting up what is basically just an elaborate setup to resolve an Aetherling.
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing is, too? You kind of give the advantage to Esper with all the Scrylands because they have 8 of them. Scrylands are not exactly the greatest at their board because most of those cards you're not bottoming because all those dead cards are out of your deck.
Now we see a turn 3 Fiendslayer Paladin here from Elsik, a card I did not expect him to board in. He has 2 in his sideboard, and I think maybe his thought process is, you know, I think Tran's going to sideboard out a heavy amount of removal, and I can get the job done this way, maybe steal a victory. So in comes the Paladin, in for 2. Elsik's going to gain 2. Life total is oftentimes not terribly relevant in this matchup, but a Fiendslayer Paladin could, oddly enough, go the way because a card that does not interact with it, Tran has drawn and just cast, which is Sin Collector.
Yep, Sin Collector is a little bit better than Fiendslayer Paladin, I think, in this situation. The only problem with Fiendslayer, the plan with this is you have to hit him 10 times with it because you're not going to get any other damage otherwise. Yep. So, I mean, even if he gets into 4 or 6, that's not as effective as, say, an Azorius Charm cantrip would have been. Yep. But we'll see. I mean, you never know. You could really poke him to death here.
So you see Tran's at 14. Elsik has moved up to 24. And we'll see what Tran can put together here. As you see him doing a lot of counting. Here's the mana. There is your Jace Architect of Thought. See if that resolves. Because we could be in a situation here where, you know, Elsik is just like, I'm going to try to counter every single spell that you play and just beat you down this way. And that's exactly what he does. So Gainsay takes care of Jace. A quick untap here from Elsik. And he draws his own Jace.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Problem is, Minh, we see we have a trump for Fiendslayer Paladin in our hand here with the old Blood Baron. Just pretty much defeats him in every way possible.
Oh, Blood Baron's a good magic card.
Yeah,
so there's that.
Yeah, pretty good.
curious to see if Elsik is going to play that Jace. He's just going to pass the turn back because he has a syncopate in his hand.
Yeah, he has. If he had another land, I think he has a negate or another counterspell.
We're leading out with a Thoughtseize.
Oh, man. I think he has 2 counterspells, or at least 3. I see a lot of blue cards over there. There might be another Gainsay.
This is actually pretty interesting.
I mean, if you have a negate here, you got to negate this. You can't let him see that hand.
Yeah, I think it's an easy negate, but I don't think that he has one. And he has a syncopate over there, and I think he's wondering how much to syncopate for. Because you see his hand right now, he's got a Dispel. He's got 2. Okay, so he's got 2 Dispels, a syncopate, and a Jace.
Yeah, for the record, Dispel has been one of those cards I've just never liked so much. And in last season, you kind of argue for it because Sinks of Revelation was everywhere. In this season, what do you think? I kind of like just paying 1 more and having negate, just to have more versatility.
I'm with you on that one. I would prefer to have negate now because of the versatility, as you did mention, as Blood Baron of Vescopa is going to resolve Transcending 8 life. And this is the problem that you brought up, Shaheen, which is 8's not 0.
No, 8 is not 0. 8's quite a high life total. Yeah. And once Blood Baron connects once, it's pretty much, negates everything that they did. Is he not tapping? Yeah.
I promise he will. He will have to tap some lands for that Jace. Yeah, because Jace, Architect of Thought. First of all, okay, so there's a lot of things going wrong here.
All right.
Step 1, those cards need to go to the bottom of the deck. Step 2, you need to tap lands for your Jace, Architect of Thought.
Yeah, so that's a lot of action.
There we go. There we go. So let's get our board state up to snuff here, Mr. Elsik, which we have done here, thanks to the judge down there.
Yeah, that was a kind of fun interaction there.
So Blood Baron's going to come in and going to take down Jace.
Yeah, and then turns of hard work by Zach negated.
Yeah, by 1 attack
by
from
one
Blood Baron.
attack, yeah. It's just tough. I mean, if Zach had other ways to follow up, there's actually a card that I think could be good in this situation, the sideboard, as he dispels the Sinks of Revelation. It's Daxon. Daxon would be a nice, sweet 3-drop that would actually have a lot more board impactful damaging things that you could do.
Fiend Slayer Paladin's going to come across here for 2 points of damage. You see Elsik just going to untap here. He drew a Glare of Heresy for the turn, kind of mocking him as there's a white permanent in play, but can't actually Glare of Heresy that bad boy.
Nope.
Now Thoughtseize is going to get dissolved, so a little scry action here from Elsik. How do you feel about the dissolve on this Thoughtseize?
I like it. It's just free scry out of it. Pretty much always just always fire it out there because, hey, you get scry 1, why not?
Blood Baron going to come across into the red zone. We'll see if Tran does have a follow-up or not.
All right, so Jace, Memory Adept drawn. Not too bad.
Powerful card. I don't know how powerful it is right now, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously seen better days, but it will come in +1 if it does resolve. Minh actually has a Hero's Downfall in his hand.
He's got a Downfall, he's got a Gainsay, and he's got excuse me, Dissolve.
Dissolve, okay, yeah.
I wanted to say Dismiss.
Yeah, I wish it was Dismiss.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do.
Yeah, that'd be real sweet.
So Jason's going to go up. Going to mill. Now Fiend Slayer Paladin's going to come into the red zone. So Elsik's going to go up to 30, and Tran's going to go down to 8.
Yeah, Min's going to Hero's Downfall this end of turn. I don't think it's worth wasting 2 Blood Baron attacks on there. You might as well just dispatch, especially with a handful of counter magic. There's no reason not to.
Pretty much with you there. Here's a Hero's Downfall. There's a Dispel. There's a Gainsay. So a bunch of cards are traded. That Jace gets out of the way. Basically a 5-mana draw card. So I don't know about you. I'm not in the market for 5-mana cantrips.
No. Never. It's not really a great deal.
Yeah.
4-mana cantrip, as long as it counters a spell, I'm okay with that.
Oh, that's what you like?
Yeah, we're back to that again.
Big Dismiss fan.
Yeah, is that a Renounce of Guilds?
And this is an attack for 4, so that's a pretty aggressive attack.
I think he has a Renounce of Guilds in his hand. That's no, that's Glare of Heresy. I'm sorry, not a Renounce. That looked very similar to me for a minute. Let's see, what do you draw here? Is that a sweet foil?
Yeah, there's a Sin Collector. You see Sin Collector is going to take that Glare of Heresy that Elsik can't cast, so he is out of cards now. And again, you see Minh does have a Dissolve in his hand and a Mystery card, so Blood Baron going to do what Blood Baron does and just keep right on attacking Elsik. And that foil card is a Hollow Fountain and pass the turn back. So Elsik's going to untap and draw his card. No, I mean, Fiend Slayer Paladin can come in, yes. Mutavault probably wants to stay home on defense to try to trade with a Sin Collector or just try to find a second one, and there's a Dissolve, so get that out of here.
That's actually a pretty good draw for him because it allows Minh to get rid of that last counter spell. So now Zach actually is in the market for a comeback here. You know, we've seen crazier things. Thanks to Revelation for 4 would be real good. Even a verdict, if he left it in, will clear Blood Baron out and be able to get him back in this game.
Elspeth would be great as well here, as Tran's going to attack very quickly after untapping with his Blood Baron and passing the turn back. So the Tension Sphere at the top again, mocking Elsik.
Another white removal spell for the guy who is immune to the white. He's going to have to just say go here again. I mean, like you said, he could attack for 2 and then block Sin Collector with Mutavault. He might be preparing for a bigger Sphinx Revelation, or maybe a verdict to be able to have the Mutavault survive the post-apocalyptic world here.
Sorry, Skilled Gate here drawn for Elsik before he does potentially pass the turn back. You see Tran just drawing his card, setting it down very quickly, and then just attacking with the Blood Baron.
I don't like that Attention Sphere here.
Rather save it for something else?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to do too much. Doesn't really help you a lot. You're not going to be able to kill him with this race here because he's negating every life you take away. So I kind of like, I'd rather just hold that Detention Sphere, but we'll see. We'll see if it actually comes into play here, because Zach could honestly just blank here on out.
Blood Baron comes into the red zone. You see Tran's drawing a couple cards here. It looks like a Pithing Needle among them. Say Pithing Needle land and a negate where the draw steps.
Another Fiend Slayer Paladin.
So he's going to get into the red zone is Elsik, again with Mutavault and with the Fiend Slayer Paladin. There is a follow-up Fiend Slayer Paladin, so now the lifelinks are kind of negating each other.
Yep. Min's still in the driver's seat here. And he's going to pay for Jace.
Yep.
The Architect.
That's a good magic card.
Not too bad. I was stubborn with him. I played 3 after rotation, and then everyone's like 4 is the right amount, 4 is the right amount, and I have conformed to society here.
I believe that 4 is the right amount.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's just the best Planeswalker in Standard right now, I think. Of course, I think that, but you know.
yeah. Shockaroo.
Shocking.
As here comes the Fiend Slayer Paladins and the Mutavault. It's going to knock Jace down to 2. I'm going to gain Elsik 2 life. And then pass turn back. You see Min's going to quickly untap. Draw his card. See if he wants to keep upping Jace or cash it in. I think that'll be an interesting decision.
If he's planning on killing Zach here, keep sending to his dome here, which is not really doing much with the lifelink. Did we count the lifelink? He gained 2 from the last one?
Yeah, he gained 2 from the last one.
Okay.
He did go up to 10 and then down to 6.
I mean, he's not going to kill him that way, because the Fiend Slayer Paladins can offset that life loss, especially after the next hit on Jace here and get rid of it.
Well, he might not be able to kill him that way, but I think he can kill him with what he's about to tap mana for, which is an Elspeth.
Yeah.
That's going to get the thumbs up. That's going to make some soldiers, and we'll see what Tran wants to do with the Jace in just a sec.
Now you +1 it. With Elspeth, it's easy. I think you just keep your Planeswalker. Especially when you're holding negate, too. Why not?
+1 is the choice. So Elsik's going to untap those 2 Fiend Slayer Paladins, on a Mutavault. Take a draw step here. See an island, and it looks like a Jace of his own now. So that's step 1.
Yep.
See what he can find with this Jace, as I think minusing is the choice of the day here. And negate says that doesn't even resolve, thank you.
Yeah, negates. And you see a lot of this new Planeswalker rule. It's not really new anymore, but you see a lot more of it nowadays because, you know, when everyone's playing 4 Jace in their control decks, there's just mirror Planeswalkers everywhere. For better, for worse.
Yeah. Also going to take a look, pass the turn back, and draw a card here. Will Tran. There's a Temple of Deceit. Time for a little scry. Looks like he's going to leave it on top. Again, see what he does want to do with the Jace. And he's got an Elspeth, so he's got some decisions to make.
Yeah, I mean, you can minus Jace here, I think, safely.
I mean, it's interesting because he left his card on top of his deck, so that implies that he wants to draw it. As Blood Baron's going to come across for 4 more points of damage here, knock Elsik down to 2. So assuming that he does want to draw the card, I wouldn't be surprised to see him minus it, but he's going to start here by upping Elspeth, putting 3 more soldiers into play, will Tran, and then we'll see exactly what he wants to do with the Architect of Thought.
Yeah, especially with Elspeth, with clogging the board, there's no danger to minusing Elspeth here, or Jace here.
And that's what he's going to do. So Revelation, Island, and a Jace. And kind of interesting situation, too, because he could have actually killed Elsik that turn with the Revelation, because he goes up to 30+, and Elsik is already underneath the 10, so he could have made it a flyer and +6/+6. I think Tran may have missed that interaction because it doesn't come up very often. But either way, Esper Control does it again over blue-white. Minh Tran defeats Zach Elsik, and that means that Minh Tran is moving on, like Robert Burney, to the elimination rounds.
Yeah, we're not seeing a lot of upsets here on camera. When it comes to matchup versus matchup, we're seeing Esper beat the decks that should. We're seeing Esper get crushed by the decks that should get crushed by with these aggro decks. I mean, we saw David Thomas win, but obviously he's a very, very good Magic player who's probably one of the better Esper players in the area. And he was, I think he's in top 8 now, right?
I actually don't think so. I think he ended up losing.
Oh, he lost.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because he was 6-0 at one point.
Yeah, well, 10-round tournament.
That's true, yeah. 6-0 is not what it used to be.
Yeah.